Hello and welcome to the Sacred Gates Ascension podcast. My name is Illura and I just went and spent some good times with some trees in my local area, and I actually just went then and came back. It's about almost 12 o'clock at night, and I am fortunate enough to live in an area where it's very safe in the evening, in a secure area. There's some trees, and you can really connect in very interesting ways with different trees. I've been connecting with various trees in the area for a short while because I've just moved house, and there are some beautiful trees near me that each have different feelings, and I started off with a couple of them, and then I kind of just connected with one in particular. And I have to say, there's just so much information that can be shared with a tree, or you can receive from a tree, and you can really start to develop your spiritual bodies when you connect with different trees. And you may come across a specific tree, or you may find a photo of a tree as well. This is one of my favorites here. I love this photo. And trees can really help you to develop yourself. They really help, I believe, from my experience, to develop your spirit senses. And I actually was just sitting in the dark on the grass for some time, and it's been a really while since I've had the opportunity to do that at night. It's been years since I had a garden, and so I can either go to this particular place near my house, but I also have a garden now. And it's so wonderful to sit in the morning, to sit in the afternoon, to sit in the evening, and to sit really, really early morning, because every different part of the 24-hour cycle of time has a very different energy, has a very different essence. So if you are up at 3 a.m. doing energy work, there is a very particular consistency in the substance of the energy which affects your consciousness at that time. If you go and do energy work at 9 o'clock, it's very different to doing energy work at 9 o'clock in the evening. It's very different to doing energy work at 9 a.m. in the morning. Also, doing training of any kind after you've eaten at dinner time, depending on what that time is for you, it's a very different time to doing it in the afternoon. So there's all these different vibrations during the day, and if you're also fortunate enough to be able to sit in real moonlight, this is also a very different energy. But whatever energy you do in the evening time, it's connected to the moon, and the energy work you do in the daytime is connected to the sun, and they are both very different frequencies. One is very yin and one is very yang. So the sun is very yang, more masculine, and the moon is very yin, more feminine. So you can explore working with different times of the day and just see what works. I think it's better not to think about it. Don't go and research it online. Just go and experience it for yourselves with whatever schedule you have and what you're capable and what you're able to do at this time. And sometimes that can change over time. So you may not be interested in training at 3 a.m. in the morning, which I completely understand. But if you have a schedule, you're interested and you're able to do that, it is an interesting time in the morning. It is called the witching hour for a reason. And the energy is very, very different to that of dawn, and then early morning, post-dawn, pre-dawn. 3 a.m. is before pre-dawn. So it's very interesting. And I just wanted to connect with you around trees, and that when you work with trees, you'll notice that they all connect underground, all their root systems. And my mother actually told this recently, that trees have a root system that's actually finer than the substance of actual roots. It becomes like a fungi, like little mushrooms, and they all connect in these very, very fine, intricate networks of this particular kind of substance of root system that is like a vast planetary connection. So when you connect to one tree, of course, you're connecting to all consciousness of trees. And most trees are very happy to work with you. I know of someone who actually did have, after all their work they did with trees, they had one kind of, oh wow, this tree does not like people. But most of the time trees, and this was very, very rare, but most of the time trees really like to work with you. And you, because of the way they are, you can give them your heavy your heavy energy. You can give them your issues and your worry and your concerns, as well as anything else, because for them, they don't experience it as really intense and horrible. They're very much able to transmute. That's what trees are. They're able to transmute. They help to oxygenate the planet. They help to oxygenate the people. They change the air quality. They produce oxygen. And so they're very, very nourishing for us. And they help us to get really in contact with our vital energy. And you can practice doing the ball of Qi with a tree. Give that a try. It's very, very nourishing. It takes some practice, but you can develop a relationship with a particular tree that you may feel drawn to working with. And I really encourage you to open up and allow the tree of life that is within you to connect to the tree of life that is the tree. For our body is so similar to a tree in so many ways. And sometimes it takes you to stand in front of an actual tree for you to really feel how similar you really are to a tree in so many ways. So I've done a video on this before, where I have the whiteboard video where we do go through the branches, the twigs, the leaves, all of that very more externalized branches, limbs, just like the limbs of our own bodies and networks, down into the core of the tree here, and then into the legs, and then the toes, again, are extensions of that core and roots, and then going into the ground and our connection to the earth. And within the tree, there are all these circuits and networks and amazing, incredible, chlorophyll and pathways and ligaments and all sorts of things going on. And that is just like us as well. Another thing is, when you connect to a tree at nighttime, quite often you're more able to feel or see the aura of that tree. At nighttime, trees tend to kind of expand, they relax, the consciousness of the planet is a lot more subdued, and they really expand out into the night, just as we can too. So when I was just sitting there for a little while in the dark, I really could feel my spirit senses expanding and opening up. And that's something that I'm exploring, and I will share with you when I have a bit more experience with the spirit senses and really connecting to opening up the passage of the nose, the ears, the taste buds, the smell. And I encourage you, if you can, to sit at night, if you can feel safe, and if you are safe, just say if you have a back garden or a private front garden, and just really allow yourself to bask in the magicalness of nighttime nature, and allow it to help you to relax all of your senses after a busy day, and also just connecting with trees in general, and noticing how much you are very much like a tree. And that's why when you find a tree that you feel really drawn to, you can really absorb a lot of insight, and if you're just relaxing and letting go, it will come to you just naturally without you trying to kind of grasp it and get it the way we tend to want to get information. You just want to just train and relax and open and see what happens. Thanks for listening, guys, to this very bubbly episode of the Ascension Podcast. And I feel invigorated, I have to say, from having been in nature. It's so nice to live in a place now where I have more, less compressed. The other house I was in was a townhouse, and now I'm living in a freestanding house. So, where you're living also impacts, if you're in an apartment, a townhouse, a house, one bedroom, whatever your living experience is, there's always an opportunity to grow and to tune into what it feels like. And for me now, it's quite nice to have a bit more expansion, a bit more room, and also more quiet. So nice. So thanks for tuning in, guys. See you for the next episode of the Ascension Podcast. Bye-bye for now.